Good morning, guys. Welcome to the Monday garden tour. It's interesting how when you're in the trenches you don't really see as much change week to week, perhaps, as if you're just tuning in that moment. But lots of change, lots of growth happening here. A little bit windy today. All right, so I figured I would have to water anyway, so I will take you along to show you how crazy everything gets. You can see little plant babies, little lettuces that came up. You can see these flowers are starting to bud up. I'll have to put on the screen which ones they were because I don't remember the name at the moment. Looking lovely. Here's our second one. And let's see if we have any little basil babies in here. Oh, yeah, we sure do. Welcome, babies. I'm also going to collect bits and bobs from the garden. This round of dehydration going for this year. So first off, I'm going to pick some of this basil because if you didn't know, you pick basil pretty vigorously and it keeps getting bushier and bushier. So I'm not quite ready to make another round of tea, but I can use some dehydrated herbs for various applications later on. Going to, of course, grab some rosemary and some mint down there. last thing I'm going to harvest is these guys, strawberry leaves. I didn't know you can harvest, I think most berries harvest their leaves. Don't quote me on that, but I know raspberry leaves you can, and strawberry leaves. So the rule is don't take more than a third of the plant. So each plant has multiple leaves. So technically I could take one plant, or one leaf of each, but I'll just take one of one. Our strawberries are slowing down, so they're not quite as vigorous at the moment. And pretty soon we'll be in the 90s pretty regularly. We've got a nice little break right now. Back down to the 70s this week. You, sir, are a weed. What are you doing? I'm just gonna cut you because I don't want to disrupt everything. So I'm just gonna go around and harvest a good amount of these leaves. Sure, the younger, tender ones are better, but that's fine. Let's take a look. And then eventually, as I have full containers of strawberries and I don't need any more runners, I can just come through and harvest the leaves off of all the runners and not let them actually do anything. That's probably what I'll do eventually. A few berries coming on, but not many anymore. Looks like I need to harvest some of this guy. Look at that. Italian oregano. With as many tomato plants as we put out, I feel as if we're going to have a lot of need for this guy right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and dehydrate some of that too. All right, let's do a drive by the tomatoes. I think I might go ahead and let these just start setting their blossoms. We'll see if they stay or not, because we do have 90 degrees in about a week. So next weekend is supposed to be back up to the 90. We'll see. So I've put up their supports. I have not yet put up string. They're definitely going to be a lot healthier and happier when I can get them some support. Although, if you didn't know, this is how tomatoes naturally go. It's that they are a ground crawling, a ground crawling or dwelling. This one is really taking off. Large red tomato. And again, he's laying over, so he's actually, can you see that in the camera? He's actually that tall. Now, normally I might not let these go and blossom quite yet because I want them to continue to get established. But A, I don't, a lot of these were kind of random, the seed packets were messed up, that sort of thing. I'm just happy that they germinated at all. So I don't know if they're determinate or indeterminate. So determinate meaning they only have a certain amount that they're going to grow, that they're going to fruit, etc., or indeterminate. And then we can tell later, a little bit later on in the season, of course, what their growth pattern is going to be like. But if it's a determinate and I pick off all the tomato blossoms now, I'm not going to have a whole lot from it later. So, and also the second thing is that I consider, even though there's, hold on, let me count real quick. 1, 12, 13. There's 13 of them out here. And I think I have 12 planted in the garden. This is still considered overflow. Listen, I haven't been able to garden like this in a long time. I might have gone a little bit overboard, but still. I will not be sad if I am having to drop tomatoes off at people's houses because I have too many. I would much rather have that problem than not be able to grow at all. So we have thrown a bunch of tomatoes in here as overflow, as an experiment to kind of see, can we keep them alive out here? We've got, you know, the animals are allowed to be over here. We've got lots of cats that can come up here. The birds like to go in and out. So we'll see. So that being said, I don't mind if these don't establish their roots very well and they give us just a couple of, you know, rounds of tomatoes and they peter out, or they get knocked over or whatever. At this point, that's fine with me. I'm going to take really, really good care of the ones in the garden, and hopefully between the two, we'll have a large amount of tomatoes, because I'm completely out of all home canned tomato goods. I'm completely out of a lot of canned goods that I've done myself. So that's definitely a thing I look forward to this year for sure. To show you this beautiful cosmos that is volunteered. Look at that color. It is kind of fuchsia on the ends here, and it definitely is a pink color, like a hot pink almost, which I don't like much usually, but this one is gorgeous compared to sort of this normal pink color. Oh look, there's some red ones coming up. They might be the same as this one. These all volunteered, so I'm just letting them go. Hopefully I can get some seed from this one. So one frustrating thing is I'm glad that these have come up. That makes me happy. However, I planted 3 other spots here, I think. So only 2 types of the bulb have come up. This was multiple mixes, I should say a multiple mix from Costco. So I got 1 bulb, it looks like over here, that germinated, and then a couple in the center that germinated. And none of these other ones did. That makes me sad. I have to come and say good morning to the fishies. Hard to see them, but there are quite a few in there. I mostly just got mosquito fish and goldfish, just some feeder fish. I do have a pet turtle, if you didn't know, and sometimes I like to put a fish in there, just give them some enrichment, but I threw them in here all together at first, and then of course they're feeder fish, so almost none of the goldfish have survived, except for I think there were 3 in the last count I did. Mostly this barrel is just here for easy access of water, to be able to quickly grab some and go water the plants, as well as I have a hose here that drains out from the turtle tank inside, and it goes into this bucket as well, and it's great fertilizer for the plants. So I kind of just have fish in here, you know, the waste from the turtle tank, all that kind of stuff. Just hanging out until it's ready to put onto the plants, and it's wonderful. Another way I try to make my own fertilizer. Sit in there all day and watch them, but this is a garden tour, not a fish tour. Okay, well, first off, you can see not the best setup for it at the moment, but it is providing the required shade for a lot of these plants. So shade is up. We're going to work on getting it a little bit better, a little bit more secure. That way we can, you know, walk through it without having to move it out of the way. Yes, ma'am. All right, calm down, fellas. Ma'am. And I am still in denial about the heat. Still drinking my hot tea. It's fine. I'll have to start putting it in the fridge the night before though, for sure. Dang it. And I'm going to try something new and overlay or show you maybe a little bits here and there of what it looked like last week versus this week. I think that's really cool to be able to see, you know, in that same moment how it's changed so much. So I look forward to doing that. That's gonna be fun. A little bit about the weekend. I hope you all had a happy Mother's Day. I know it's one of those holidays that is bittersweet for some people. Some of you are full-time parents, regardless of the gender, and I see you too. So happy Mother's Day to everyone out there who is doing everything they can for their kids. I had the pleasure of having my partner's kids over for the weekend, and so we spent some time hanging out, and of course we have 4 kids in a small space. Disaster. It's a disaster. Oh goodness. So here for it. I think they're all just about blooming. There's a couple more that will come in later. Still no head on the sunflower. I don't know how long amaranth lasts, but it is definitely here and ready. So I thought amaranth was supposed to be like a trap crop, but doesn't seem to be attracting much bugs on that side. Although I don't have a ton, honestly. I'm surprised. I'm gonna show you both sides at the same time. We did come through here with the kids, and I thought it'd be fun for them to harvest. So I allowed them to harvest the last cabbage, and then I'll show you over there the carrots. We took all those out. So the cabbages are all done. There's a little bit more breathing room. The kale is still hanging on. So we'll probably keep harvesting off of that for a little bit longer. No changes in the onions. This guy is a behemoth now, taking up all the room. It's okay, there wasn't anything else growing there. Still no actual flowers on this guy. Looks like an alien for sure. I don't know that I want flowers on these guys yet. Again, this is planted with the tomatoes I'm more concerned about. We've got a couple Roma paste style tomatoes. We've got some slicer red tomatoes. We've got some cherry tomatoes, a little mix of everything in this bed. And it is protected more behind a fence. And it's got some shade cloth over it. Even if you don't eat chard, like, look at that. That is just a stunning plant. Just plant a bunch of the rainbow ones. Really pretty. All right, Cherry, you are pretty tall. Shall I let you start flowering? Maybe I'll let a couple of them flower. This is a cherry delight. I think it's just a little red cherry tomato. Finally have some height on these peppers. Finally growing up. I even see a little bit of growth on our little friend here. A little sugar rush. Oh my gosh, how cute. Oh, these are so stressed. Poor little guys. Look at this little tiny cayenne. It's flowering. Oh, sorry, buddy. It's too soon. You too? What is the chance of you even being able to support a jalapeno right now? Look how little you are. There's no way you can support them all. And I also came through this weekend and sprinkled some worm compost, so that should help them out quite a bit. And I don't actually expect this guy, so cute, to produce anything. If he does, he's going to be the tiniest little baby cabbage you've ever seen. I'm happy to see a lot of the discount marigolds are popping back. I'm just going to leave this guy here because, I mean, why not? It's not taking up any space, and he's actually covering a good amount of the bare soil here. So I'll just leave him to do his thing. The calendula opened up. Beautifully. Show you this bed again. So, show you last week. There was a lot more foliage here because there was a bunch of cabbages there. I still have this one ginormous kale left going on. Haven't planted or haven't harvested everything. There's still a kohlrabi in there, so I'll leave that for a little bit. And then this is probably the most drastic. The carrots are all gone. I don't remember if this guy was open last time or not. And I have started to trellis up the cucumber. You see some blossoms down there. I'm not sure. If they said they're fruits before this weekend, we might still have some. You friends need to go upwards, not downwards. I want you to go up into the bed. I'm gonna have to tie them up soon. And this is probably the other drastic area of the garden. Uh, Look, I planned for this. I did. I promise. I did. I planned for this. I knew that this area was going to be crowded, that the walkways would disappear, but we'll just be careful, make the best of it. I'll probably have a lot of the runners go off that way and shade that garden area, and that way I can still walk through this side, which means this guy needs to be moved. All right, friend, go somewhere else. Thank you. As you can see, they are indeed starting to put on some fruit. And this is the candy roaster. I am excited about this guy. I will let her take over the entire garden for this guy to give me some squashes. Oh, are we out of the sun? Voila. Tiniest little water feature you ever did see. It's not much, but gets a little bit of water flow, and there's a lot of lizards that live in this garden now. So I basically just have a pot that I dug down into the ground there, with some wire mesh over it to keep it from having much debris in there. And then I got a solar fountain pump and just some different trays from the store. Put some holes in it and voila, water feature. All right, let's head on this way. Look at this color. I'm really digging that this year. I have some baby peppers. They're doing okay. Now I'm trying to remember if I fertilized them or not. Don't remember. Cucumbers are hanging out, doing their thing. We might get some cucumbers, hopefully. At least we tried and grew some, right? Okay, in here. Well, hello. He's ready for some fun. That's a male flower. We are officially, just like that, in zucchini season. Yep. This is the third one in the, I think, week that we have harvested. And what's funny is I'm pretty sure I was just talking about, let's go this way. I'm pretty sure I was just talking about how there's like this lull in between the seasons. Wasn't I just saying that? Lull's over, zucchini's here. And the next one is a pumpkin, actually. I'm trying to decide, is like just a natural, like it's not powdery mildew or anything. It's like a natural sheen to those leaves. If that's natural, normal, then that's a beautiful variegation. I love variegations. Who doesn't, right? They're beautiful. Is it a garden tour if you don't play Spot the Lizard? Oh yes, that's nice. Mostly shaded by these big beautiful plants behind me. Just to think that they were cut down to the ground, what, 2 months ago? Yeah, I can get used to this right here. I'm gonna need a spot to sit here now. This is really nice. It is weird though. Now I was just joking about the different feelings of the garden time of gardening. But while I have things to do like pruning and fertilizing, maintenance, that sort of thing, I'm not really worried about starting things. And I don't technically have the time to reseed things right now. So I can't really do any more carrots. I might just experiment anyway, but they're not going to be the best right now. The best time is when they get a little bit of cold on them. That will be the best time for carrots. So could I plant carrots and still have food? Yes, I could do that. But it's not like early spring where you are maybe reseeding things on a regular basis. Every week you're putting a new succession of lettuce or a new succession of carrots or what have you. But knowing that we are so close to 90-degree weather, not much is going to want to sprout, and if it does, it will quickly be killed off by the heat. So again, this year is all about just having fun, experimenting, stretching my gardening legs again. You know, it's been so long since I've had a true space to garden, not just like containers here and there. So I feel like this is our, classroom, as Jess would say, if you know who that is. I'm definitely taking this time to remember parts of gardening maybe I haven't been able to handle, or that I haven't been able to do in a while. Understanding just what this size of a garden, what it takes, how to manage it, how much food can you grow in this space realistically. And I'm also learning my flow, if you will. How do I do best with getting distracted by all the birds? How do you deal with the produce that's being grown here, right? That's the other side of it, is you can grow beautiful things, but if you're also growing food for harvesting, how are you going to manage that? And right now I am working kind of 2 jobs really. So aside from, being like the homemaker, wifey type, if you will, I'm also out of the house a whole lot. And I'm not home until 10 o'clock at night, 10:30 at night. So how do I do this while maintaining that kind of schedule? It's a good skill to have, to know what you can accomplish, be able to push yourself, and then know that when things calm down, I'm confident in my abilities. Definitely going to do some research and find plants that are more heat tolerant. That way I can, when it starts to get hot, I can succession plant things that are more heat tolerant. I don't know how I feel about things like okra, not my favorite. I tried to grow an eggplant last year and it grew nice and big, but it never ever gave me any plant or any fruit. So I'm not sure what else I might be able to stick in the garden and fill in these empty spaces. Or if maybe that's it, just zucchini, and then the tomatoes will be coming on soon, hopefully cucumbers. And honestly, I'll be happy with that because I could eat cucumber tomato salad all summer long. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I pull something out and it's like, well, can't really put anything in its place because it's too dang hot. 90's not even it. 90 is the lower end of summer temperatures. We'll be up into the hundreds before too long, and it's a good long time that we're in there, so we could be in hundreds for an entire month without blinking an eye. So that is the challenge of gardening in this location, is that it is so hot and dry that not a lot of things want to grow, right? The tomatoes, they have to have their fruit set before it gets up to the 90s, or they'll just fall off. The blossoms will fall off and they won't get anything for it. So that's what I mean by summer, everything dies, nothing wants to grow because it's so hot. I don't blame it, but that's kind of our winter time. Our winter off time is during the summer. We're gonna have the tomatoes and peppers under shade cloth, so those should be okay. And then we'll just bear the next couple of months of summer, and then we'll be able to start the fall crops and get those into the ground probably late August, early September, around here. But I definitely want to flex my growing muscles and get a good fall crop going. And just seeing how broccoli and things like that I can get if I do it that way. Get it growing at the end of summer, early fall, and that way it's a nice sized plant by the time the cold hits. That's September, October, November, December, January. That would be 4 months before the frost hits, and our frost is minimal. So I think I'm going to go in and get some preservation done from both what we picked over the summer, what we picked over the weekend and today. Get that going and get ready for my day because I gotta go to work pretty soon. Thank you so much for taking the time out to spend some time with me today. I really appreciate that, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.